Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about the animation industry and the problems in the animation industry, the unemployment in the animation industry. And
you liar.
I don't care if we're allowed to talk about it or not. And I want to be clear up front. It's sad. We're not happy about it, but we didn't lie. Clownfish TV did not lie. We didn't lie to anybody about the state of the animation industry. In fact, we are hearing from people behind the scenes pretty regularly about how awful things actually are, but they're afraid to speak out about it publicly because everybody's trying to put on a brave face. But it's pretty bad, guys. It's pretty bad. But you can't tell some people this because they're going to go make 50 videos about how you're wrong, even though they themselves are currently unemployed and have been for several months. But no, tell everybody how we're wrong. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about it. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You will get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo! Go
out to clownfishminus.com, please, and help support the Wreath. And you can also join here.
Buy our class. No, I'm kidding.
Buy our class. Hey, it would be a very short class. It'd just be like, go independent, right? But no, you can join here on YouTube and also on Locals as well. And look, we've been following this for a while, and there are some younger people in the animation industry that think that we're making things up, that things really aren't that bad. And I think they just don't have the experience to see how bad things really are. Because we're hearing from people that have been doing this for a very long time. In fact, you were talking about Gendy Tartakovsky, and I got into it or got pulled into a situation on Threads, and I did not mean to cause anybody any harm or whatever, but the showrunner of Billy and Mandy said that we were right, and then all of a sudden
everybody dogpiled them.
Everybody dogpiled him. Yeah. And he was actually selling stuff because things were so bad right now. And this is somebody who was a well-respected showrunner at a Cartoon Network show.
What does he know? The new storyboard artists know everything.
He's only been doing it for decades. What the hell does he know? What does Gendy Tartakovsky know? What do they know? This was a couple months ago, but we're going to lead into even more anecdotal evidence of just how bad things really are. And look, I want to be clear before we get into this. This isn't doom and gloom, right? We've been telling you the whole time that the future is independent animation. And now some people who are working or had worked in the studio system are starting to get with the program, and they're starting to look into doing stuff on YouTube and just realize nobody's going to come save you, right? Animation is not all that important to most studios. They greenlit a bunch of stuff because they're looking for streaming content, and they thought, that if the pandemic went on for 20 years, well, animators could work at home or whatever. And then they backpedal on that pretty damn quick. But this was a couple of months ago from Animation Magazine, brink of collapse. Industry observer Zach Mulligan shares thoughts on the state of the animation business. And again, this was last year, but it will lead into this. And he's basically talking about so many people that are out of work right now, and they've been out of work. And that was last year, right? The interviewer asked him, how has the current broken climate impacted you personally or the people you know in your circle? The current climate has profoundly affected many people I know, with numerous colleagues being laid off or given end dates over the past year, particularly at DreamWorks, a place I worked for 4 years, where the company's recent decision to outsource nearly half. Oh my God, guys. Decision to outsource nearly half of its feature film production has resulted in significant cuts to various departments. This isn't an isolated issue. Thousands of workers across our industry have faced similar fates due to the factors I've outlined. Even Pixar.
That's because he's a dummy. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
He doesn't know what he's talking about either, I guess, right?
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
It's difficult to stay optimistic about our industry when it directly affects people we know personally. Do you see any silver linings? Despite the bleak outlook suggested by the title of my video, there are a lot of things to be excited about on the horizon. This is the guy who must have done the video that made the rounds.
Oh my God, read the next sentence.
The incoming wave of indie studios is particularly exciting. If you can get a group of talented artist friends together, the sky's the limit.
Well, that deserves several hate videos talking about how wrong he is and how he doesn't understand animation, because that's what we said. It's exactly what we said.
The explosive rise of successful animated series on YouTube, such as those from Glitch Productions, is also an important development that cannot be overlooked.
No. If only somebody's been saying that. If only. What do we know?
What the hell do we know? What the hell do we know? We have people coming to us who've been doing this for a long time who are like, yeah, it's not good. And here we've got some more anecdotal evidence. And we've been following people on Reddit too. I follow a couple of different animation boards, career boards on Reddit, and trying to keep track of things. And it's not good. There's so many stories of people. And we've covered it before. There are so many stories from people that have been out of work for a while.
Again, we're not celebrating that.
No, not
We're
at all.
just telling you guys, we told you this was going to happen. We've been trying to, everybody's taking it as a negative, but it's like we're trying to help you, you know?
Yeah, it's like Bilbo Baggins. We're
I
not
know.
trying to rob you. We're not happy about it. We're not, even if the stuff you're working on isn't something that we like personally, we don't want people to lose their jobs, lose their houses, and we're going to talk about this. This was posted recently, and I actually took her name off of it because I do not want people attacking her, harassing her. She's obviously going through enough as it is, but her story is not unique. There are lots of stories like this. If you actually go out to Reddit and you talk to people, especially if you talk to people that have been doing this for a long time, the state of animation right now, it's pretty much unprecedented as the percentage of people that are out of work. This was posted this week. It's been nearly 2 years since my last storyboard job. And this is somebody who worked in the industry for a while. 2 years. It's not for lack of trying. I tried and tried. Yeah. Person with nearly 4 years of experience who worked for Cartoon Network, Titmouse, and even Spin Master. We regret to inform you, you're unqualified for this job. Apparently they're working as a waitress somewhere. When my unemployment ran out, I switched focus to looking for part-time work. My feet hurt so bad I had to quit. That sucks. It does suck. I kept getting rejection after rejection. I feel like a clown. Was what I spent the last 4 years doing, a big waste. I've been there. We've been there. I've talked about before. I got shown the door. It's been about 15 years now, but I thought I was more important to the company than I actually was. And every other time I wanted to leave a job, I chose to leave the job to do something else. In this case, it was not my decision, and the company lied to my face. They told me, "Hey, things are going to be great. It's going to be great." Because I asked them, I said, "Hey, do we got to worry about? I'm worried about things. Do I got to worry about?" "Oh no, it's fine. We'll talk about
Friday.
Monday." That was Friday. Come Monday. Here's the box. You gotta be out of here by noon. Get the hell. It doesn't matter what you've done for us. So I get it. It's hard. It is. And I think what a lot of the people that think that we're lying to them, I think they think that we're lying to them because we're trying to discourage them from doing this, or they think that we take some delight in people losing their jobs. That is not the case at all. I guess my thing is, like, if you actually listen to our videos and you listen to what we're trying to tell you, we're trying to come across like older people, parents or whatever, and you actually listen to what we're trying to tell you. And if your takeaway from that is, that we're being like neener, then that's a you problem, because that from my point of view, that's projection. Because some of these people, and we did a video yesterday talking about, art Twitter and how catty and backstabbing it could be. They want other people to fail, so they think that they're going to get the biscuit, even though there aren't any more biscuits.
We don't want your biscuit.
No, nobody. Yeah, I'm not looking for your biscuit.
We didn't want your biscuit. Sorry.
No. And a lot of these people, I think they, honest to God, just think that, like, if they take us out of play, that's gonna magic, like, things are gonna get better. If only Clownfish TV wasn't allowed to be on YouTube, because then people watch me on YouTube. And I'm like, that's not how it works. That's not how it works at all. But okay, you think like that, and this is why you're not getting bigger on YouTube.
But this is like one story of many. Like, we keep.
This is one of many, dozens. Like, we don't even talk about it that much, because I don't want to be like neener. But we don't talk about it that much even on the channel. But I'm sending her links all the time to people that are publicly posting about how they've been out of work, working in animation. They're like, "Oh my God, what are we going to do?" They're outsourcing stuff. They're not greenlighting shows. Just last night, I had somebody who's been in the animation industry for decades writing me and being like, "It is so much worse. It is so much worse than people are letting on." They're afraid to say anything about it, because for a while there, they were all clinging to survive until 25. They're all clinging to the hope that the union was going to save them. And the union will save some of them. Some of them will have better working conditions. But everybody's more expensive, so they're going to speed up the outsourcing and the AI. I mean, that's the reality of it.
That's all this has been. It's been reality. Hey, I think it's funny, though, on this one, they said about they worked on a storyboard for an Emmy-nominated show. Well, Kneon worked on Eisner-nominated books. He still didn't get to stay.
No, pretty much in comics. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, this is the brag. Like, I don't even bring it up very often, but pretty much every comic I worked on for like 10 or 15 years have been nominated for an Eisner. Because
you were on the team that did it.
Yeah, because I worked on a lot of archival stuff, and we were always getting nominated, or kids' books or whatever, and we were always getting nominated for Eisners. It doesn't mean anything to me. I mean, it's just a piece of metal or whatever. And I was on a team, so it wasn't like they singled me out personally.
They weren't going to give you one, no.
No, they weren't going to give me one. But that's okay, But it's like, yeah, I mean, it sucks. It does, but this is the new reality. I mean, look, we're not going to go through the whole thing here. It goes on, and there is a lot of tiny violin, and part of me is like, I get it, I get being disappointed, but part of me is also like, the brutal reality of any creative endeavor is you're not owed a career in that field, and there are so many people that have worked in creative industries in the past. They're no longer working in creative industries. And if you're really creative and you're really resourceful, you're still going to create. You don't have to wait on the studios or somebody to come along and give you a job.
But that's how you get paid, and they don't want to do something else. But you're going to might have to do something else.
I mean, I know a lot.
People don't want to.
They don't want to. I know you don't want to.
And I get it.
I get it. But the truth is that I don't think the LA animation scene is ever coming back like it was before. And so a lot of people are going to have to make some very tough choices, whether it's animation or live action or whatever, especially after the fires. I mean, the fires, for a lot of people, was just like a clear sign from the universe that it's like, yeah, maybe we should not be here. You're going to have to make a decision. Do you want to survive, or is, making cartoons like the most important thing? I guess my thing is, like, you look at all the stuff that Walt Disney went through, and you look at all these creatives who went through kind of an ebb and flow of their careers, and some of them they went bankrupt, they lost everything, they went through lots of personal problems or whatever. And if you're a creative person, you're still going to create. I mean, going back to the comics thing, we talked about comics. Like, I worked mostly on the Disney side of things. I worked on the Duck comics, Don Rosa and Carl Barks. And Carl Barks was ready to give it all up and go back to being a farmer. He was just like, I'm just going to go back to being a farmer. I can't deal with the studio system. I don't want to do it. And I'm just going to, and that would have been it. And he's phenomenally talented. And then Walt actually personally put him in charge of the Donald Duck comic. But yeah, he was willing to give it all up. And people back then were different. I think they were like, I like to make cartoons. I like to draw. But if it comes down to being able to feed my family or feed myself in drawing, it's kind of dumb. My personal opinion, it's kind of dumb to be like, no, I have to be an artiste. Mm-hmm. I'm like, yeah, well, if you're starving, if you can't keep the electric on, geez, you're not going to be an artiste for very long, are you? And that's just kind of the way it is. So, but yeah, we're hearing these stories all over the place. It's sad. I mean, it really is. But I'm going to be a dick. I'm going to tell you, it's not going to get any better. It really isn't going to get better. We're going to have a lot of, big box office hits from Disney, and more. I mean, that's like the guy was saying, Zach Mulligan. He said more and more of the stuff is getting outsourced overseas. If you want to make the stuff you want to make, you're going to have to do it yourself.
Mm-hmm. And or you're going to have to go do something else.
Or you're going to have to go do something else.
Find a different job.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I'm sorry.
You might have to work a day job while you come home at night and moonlight on animating or something like everybody else. Right? We had to do it.
Mm-hmm. We've had to do it many times.
Yeah. So we're going to wrap it up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.